Title: India's Gen Z demands a better future, the fight for quality education. Intro music, midnight to 0:30. Host: Welcome to The Global Voice, a podcast that explores the most pressing issues of our time. I'm your host, Naeem. Today, we're shining a light on the recent protests in Delhi, India, where Gen Z students are taking to the streets to demand a fundamental right, quality education. Let's dive into the story. Segment 1, Introduction to the Protests, 0:30 to 5 o'clock. Host: Over the past few weeks, Delhi has witnessed some of its biggest protests in years. Thousands of students, mostly from the Gen Z demographic, have been gathering in the streets, demanding reforms in the country's education system. The protests have been met with tear gas and repression by the authorities, but the students remain undeterred. Segment 2, The State of Education in India, 5 to 10 o'clock. Host: So, what's driving these protests? India's education system has long been criticized for its outdated curriculum, inadequate infrastructure, and lack of accessibility. With a population of over 1.3 billion people, India's education sector is under immense pressure. The students are demanding a more modern and inclusive education system that prepares them for the challenges of the 21st century. Segment 3, Student Voices, 10 to 1500 hours. Host: We spoke to some of the student protesters to understand their concerns. They shared stories of overcrowded classrooms, outdated textbooks, and a lack of resources. They're not just fighting for themselves, but for a better future for their generation. Segment 4, The Government's Response, 15 to 2000 hours. Host: The government's response to the protests has been criticized as heavy-handed. The use of tear gas and water cannons has only fueled the students' determination. The authorities have also been accused of suppressing dissent and restricting freedom of speech. Conclusion: 20 to 2100 hours. Host: As the protests continue, it's clear that India's Gen Z is not willing to settle for a subpar education system. They're demanding a better future, and it's time for the government to listen. We'll be keeping a close eye on the developments in Delhi and exploring more stories of student activism from around the world. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Global Voice. Outro music, 21 to 21:30. Host: If you want to learn more about the protests in Delhi or share your own thoughts on the issue, visit our website and join the conversation on social media using the hashtag #TheGlobalVoice.